Jesteśmy, we're here again. Please join us. Zapraszamy ponownie na drugą część. Mike is my guest now. We are talking about Once Upon a Time in Hollywood and his character and his work in the movie, in that movie. Mike, if you're here, brother, I'm gonna call you back, and now we can talk again. So yes, you're here. Please, if you can, and connection, and will be great. But I can see, yeah, perfect. So you're saying that you had a table reading with Zoe, with Brad.
No, I had a table reading with the whole cast. I think it was not the whole cast, but it was Leo, Brad, Margot, Emil, um, Timothy Oliphant, Luke Perry was there, Burt Reynolds was there
Wow.
before he passed, unfortunately,
Oh
and
my gosh.
Al Pacino, and a lot of these people I didn't know were in the film because that day the press
Mm-hmm.
release came out that there were so many other stars joining the film. So for me, that was kind of a big moment for me. Like, wow, this is a huge deal, and I better not mess this up. So after the fact, Quentin said, after I got the role, he said, you know, I brought you in there to see if you could handle the pressure of being at that table read. And that was
Oh man.
I'll never forget that day.
Oh my God, that's what amazing story. I didn't know that. I didn't know that because I didn't ask you about it. Kurt Russell was there, I think. Yeah, because you
Kurt was not there at the table read. I didn't know I was doing a scene with Kurt Russell until maybe a week before.
hmm
I didn't know who was playing the stunt coordinator character
yeah.
until about a week before. So that was also a big surprise.
Well, let's talk about it because you're the master in martial art as well. You've got your own school, am I right?
Yes,
Yeah.
I'm not a master. I'm just an enthusiast. I like to
Yeah,
practice.
yeah, that's Mike. That's Mike. I love this guy. Watch his Instagram and his show there. Man, it's incredible what they're doing, by the way. But I have to ask you about that scene when you've got your huge scene, big scene with Brad, with Cliff. And how did you do that? How did you manage? How did you prepare this kind of dance?
I mean, honestly, I felt like I was just playing a part as a big part of a team, and Quentin was just this magnificent coach that had it all planned out, and he knew exactly what he wanted from not only us, but as a team of the whole film set. And I remember Brad and I got to rehearse for a few weeks, and luckily we had that opportunity because a lot of shows, especially when you do action, a lot of the directors don't really care too much about what the action is doing and how intricate it can be. But Quentin really appreciates the stunt team and the fight choreography, and especially the way that Bruce was able to move. And each of us had different fight styles. So
Mm-hmm.
Brad was training more of like Israeli fight combat, and I was training more Jeet Kune Do, which is Bruce. So yeah, we had a couple weeks to rehearse, and then on the day, he said, "Look, I'm gonna shoot this as a one take, and if you don't get this right, you screw everything up." So, yeah, and I told him I channeled Bruce, and I said, "Look, you got the right guy." I was showing that confidence that I know he wanted to see from me, and a lot of that was true because I was super prepared. I don't think I've
Mm-hmm.
ever been prepared for an acting job like I was in this movie.
Everything when I'm watching that scene, when I'm watching your part, everything seems to be like prepared in 100%. Like every move your movements, like hand and face, and your every every word, each sentence is like a music, like like
Yeah, there's a little bit of a rhythm to how Bruce speaks, and I think I caught on because for 3 months in the whole audition process and the rehearsal and all of this stuff, I just constantly was listening to Bruce Lee in my ear. You know, I'm very
hmm
familiar with all of his works and all of his interviews, but during that 3 month period of time, I just did my best to live as Bruce as much as possible. And, you know, when I watch back this scene, I don't remember me planning out the beats of my mannerisms. I think it just happened because he speaks from his soul. And I told Quentin that the dialogue felt like the attitude of Bruce, that confidence, that charisma that came from Bruce. So it was easy to kind of capture the energy through his dialogue, if that makes sense.
Yep, I know. Yeah, through the rhythm, through the way of speaking, right? His kind of his character, the way how he speak, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah, it took a lot of practice, but I think the result was good, and it was fun to watch in the theater. And yeah, I got to meet you, so it's pretty cool.
Man, yeah, but tell me about that moment when you see when we can see this car, and that was real car because you punch Cliff, and he's like Cliff, he's taking you and pushing you to the car. How did you do that? Like that was real car?
Yeah, it was a real car. The door
Or
wasn't real.
dented the doors? Like you
Yeah,
dented the doors, brother.
the car was real, but the door was a prop. So I think it was aluminum, and they took out the steel beams. But that was me. That was me, and you know, Zoe and Rob Alonzo and my stunt double Brian. They tested it for weeks in advance. So on the day of filming, that was the only time I was actually thrown into the car because they tested it so much for safety. I trusted them, and we rehearsed a little bit into pads, but I never got to go into actually the actual car. So the day I was a little nervous, and yeah, I was kind of like making sure that my neck was protected. And
Yeah.
when I did it, it was like, wow, I didn't feel a thing. And maybe it was part of adrenaline. And on the ground, they had the pad, so it didn't hurt.
Didn't hurt.
And luckily we only had to do it 2 times because they only had 3 doors. And I think the one they used in the movie was the first take. And then he always likes to get the second one just for safety. So we did it 2 times, but then that was it.
And what about the Zoe here in this part? Zoe's great. She's amazing.
Yeah, she was fantastic. And I don't think she knew she was playing that role until maybe a couple weeks, or even, I can't remember exactly, but she didn't have that long to prepare because she knew she was going to be in the film, but there were a couple characters that she could have played.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad she got that part because I got to work with her and be on screen with her. But she was also fantastic, just funny, and she brought such a great energy to the end of the scene.
Yeah. And tell me, how did you feel on stage of a movie reviewing like great legend like of Hollywood of the 70s? How did you feel in a world like this?
Like I said, Bruce is one of my many heroes, not only as a martial artist, but also the way he lived his life. And like I said, he was the first Asian male that empowered me to be confident, to be bold, to take a stand for things. And you know, for me, there was a lot of pressure on myself. And obviously, when you play somebody like Bruce Lee, there are people that look at him as a superhero or a god. And for me, when I was doing my research, of course, I revere him so much, but I also discovered he had so many challenges in his career. So I learned that he had to be a certain way to break through into Hollywood because that was a white man's world at the time.
Yeah.
And he had to break through, and he had to be brash. And I think a lot of that energy came through in this scene.
Yeah, and you did it. You did it. Yeah. You can when I'm watching the movie, you can feel exactly that kind of that expression, and yeah, and I love it. And Mike, I'd love to ask you about your own way when you're creating characters, because you're not playing only like Bruce Lee. You're playing in other movies, like in another movies you are as an actor. And how you what is your own way when you're preparing to the movie?
It all depends on the role. I don't have a set, I go by feel a lot. I use my intuition, and I feel as I've gotten older, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
sure you could probably attest to this too, but for me, life experience and going through challenges and figuring out how to navigate your own personality in the world and the challenges around you,
Mm-hmm.
that allows me to draw from different experiences in my life. And when I became a father, I feel like I
Yeah.
became a better actor. When I got married, that kind of gave me different things to color my characters with because I can understand more. So the more understanding I have of other people and where their perspective is and just time and experience, I can draw from more. Whereas when I was younger, I came to LA very naive. I didn't really have that much life experience. So when I was playing a character, I feel like it was sometimes shallow.
Mm-hmm.
And now I can draw from more experience.
Mm-hmm. You can go deeper and deeper, right?
Right.
Into your inner, yeah, feeling. And by the way, Mike has got a really great family and great kids and wife. I met them. I met your wife and she's great. Say hello. Say
I
hello to
will.
her. Yeah.
Thank you.
And say about tell me about your dream role, dream character in the
Hmm.
future, if you want, of
That's
course.
that's hard because I feel like I just played him. Playing Bruce is a dream. So
Maybe there will
I,
be a whole movie about him.
yeah, maybe. Who knows? But like I said, now that I've played him, it's just what's next. I'd like to create my own path now because
Hmm.
now that Bruce has been somebody that I got to play and I really got to study, and I will always revere him. But now, like he said, you have to pave your own path and not try to copy others. So I'm figuring out what's my voice and how can I bring more positivity and
Hmm.
change in this world through the platform that we as actors have. So now if I do make a story, I want to be able to tell it from my perspective and affect change otherwise. And to
Yeah,
have directors like Quentin Tarantino and being able to play in their movies, that's great and all. But the next step is what can we do as creators, as actors, to tell our own stories as well.
that's right. I have to ask you about that feeling when you met Quentin and when you worked with him, about this kind of cooperation with him.
Yeah, the first time I met him, it wasn't just an audition, it was a meeting. And I think he wanted to get to know me and where I was coming from. And we spoke about the most random things for 30 minutes, sometimes about Bruce, talking about the era of the film.
Hmm.
And after about 30 or 40 minutes, he's like, okay, let's do the audition. And by that time, I had forgotten that I was there to do an audition. And I go in there, and I think we must have been in the room with Vicky
Hmm.
Thomas.
Hmm.
I think we were in there for 30 minutes. It felt like 2 minutes, but we were in there for 30 minutes. I think I did the scene 5 or 6 times. We even got on our feet and did some of the fight choreography. And Quentin is very, very, very hands-on. So he was sweating and I was sweating. We're going through the beats and he's telling me what he envisions, and there's just the energy around that guy. You know
Yeah.
how energetic and enthusiastic and passionate he is, and it was very difficult not to get caught up in that.
Wow. That's amazing. I probably told you that, and we were talking with Madison before that he can create totally different reality on a set. Had,
Hmm.
have you had this feeling?
I've never been on a set like that. I think part of it, I caught a little bit of Madison's interview, the fact that there was no phones. Not every director can do that, but because he can do that, he gets even more, even if it's just 5% more focus from everybody. And another thing that I noticed on that set is he didn't treat anybody differently. He demanded the same excellence and focus out of every department. A lot of times you'll go on a set and actors are treated here and then the rest of
Yeah.
the team is treated somewhere
Yeah.
here, but that,
Unfortunately.
yeah, and that creates a little bit of an unbalance. But
Hmm.
Quentin is like an amazing, the fact that he brings so many people in the same departments back film after film, That's what creates that family, that trust. And everybody on that film set will give 120% for that man, because we all know that he's done more work, and he's not going to do anything that he wouldn't himself do on a daily basis on that set. And that movie is like a baby of his. So we're babysitting his little baby.
What can you say about that movie when you saw it, when you watched it for the first time, and after that, what was your feeling?
Was the first time you saw it at the LA premiere?
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, honestly, I don't remember much of the movie from that night. It took me the second viewing to really understand what he was doing. I mean, I read I was there at the table read.
Oh, sorry, I saw it in Cannes.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I was.
Okay.
Yeah.
I almost wish the premiere was the second time I watched it so I could enjoy it more. But I think because of the surroundings, I mean, that was a crazy night. So for me, I think I was just feeling so overwhelmed by the experience that the movie was kind of secondary. And then after I got to see it, after all of that hype had calmed down and I, got my emotions in check after I watched the movie, I was like, wow, that was incredible. That was great. So I think I've seen it like 5 times now. And every time I see it, I'm sure you feel the same way. You discover more things and more layers about the movie that you didn't notice before.
Every time, every moment of that movie, like each scene you're watching, and then suddenly I say, whoa, yeah, I didn't see it before. Now I understand that too, like this world of Tarantino's world and Hollywood world.
Please tell me, my friend, that you have a dog named Dr. Saperstein. Did you adopt a dog? Please do that.
I wish. I'm thinking about it. Really, I have to tell you. Yeah, Dr. Saperstein, and that was crazy to shoot that. I was so afraid. I was so stressed because of this dog. I never played with dog before. But we did it somehow.
That was your first time with a dog?
Yeah, in the movie.
Wow.
Yeah.
Once upon a time in Hollywood, where dreams come true.
Yeah, you can work with a dog. But that's true. That was incredible, and I love those scenes when you're teaching Sharon, when Bruce teaching Sharon how to fight in the movie. That was historical. That was historical moves, or you did it like you created.
So that was we did that maybe in 3 or 4 hours, like on a second part of a day, and that was the one time I got to work with Margot, and she's how sweet she is, so she's fantastic, such a giving actor, very hardworking, and those moves were from the Wrecking Crew, which Bruce Lee was the fight coordinator. He was the choreographer of the moves in that movie. So instead of recreating it in the film set, Quentin decided that he wanted to recreate that rehearsal time with Bruce and Sharon at Sharon's house. So I thought that was a really cool homage to that era and her films, the Wrecking Crew.
That was amazing. Well, brother Mike, I really miss you. I have to tell you, and I miss you and Madison and Emil. I texted him and I told him that we've got a live tonight, this morning, Sunday. I don't know if he's watching us or not, but I'd love to meet you soon, very, very soon. And hey, hello, my friend. Good
he
morning.
Can't hear. He's in. I've got my AirPods. Can you say hi, Tyson? Can you say hi?
Hi, Tyson. How are you, my friend?
He says, "How are you?" Can you tell him? Can you tell everybody you're doing good?
Show me the best punch of your daddy.
Hey, can you do a punch? Oh wow! Watch out! He's gonna get you.
I'm so scared. Really, don't hurt me. Please don't hurt me. He's lovely guy. Lovely, Tyson. Where's mom? Where's mom?
We don't know. I'm hiding away in the basement because our kids, you know, especially on the weekends, they're all over the place.
Yeah.
And once we're done, I'm gonna go and go play with them.
Mike, thank you so much for your time. Thanks for this kind of refreshing the stories from the set and from your part and your character. And really hope to see you again very, very soon, pretty soon.
Thank you, Rafa, and much love to everybody in Poland. And be well, be safe, continue to spread positivity in these times. And I hope when we meet again, it's for a good reason other than just hanging out. Otherwise, I'll continue to stay in touch with you via social and text. Don't be a stranger.
Let's do that. I'm staying in touch with you, of course. And people wanna invite you to Poland. You know that you've got my invitation, and we will do that, brother. We will do that.
You know, my wife is part Polish, so we do have to go back to discover her.
To have a trip, really good trip.
Yeah, her maiden name is Kondratovich.
Kondratovich, yeah. We were talking
yes,
about
Kondratovich.
Kondratovich. Right.
Yes.
Oh my God, let's do that. After this
Yes,
time, this difficult time, let's do that. Let's grab Margot, Leo, Brad, Quentin, and let's do a Polish trip. Let's make it.
Okay, sounds good.
That if you say it, you can make it.
That's right, law of attraction.
Yeah. Thank you, brother. See you soon, my friend.
Enjoy the weekend. See ya.
Ciao, ciao. Thank you. Mike Moch był moim drugim gościem w kolejnym odcinku Zawierucha Filmowa. Cieszę się, że mogłem z nimi porozmawiać. Wiem, jak wspaniałe były wasze komentarze tutaj. Thank you so much for your support, for being with me, with us here. And I'm so excited that we were talking about my favorite movie, the movie of the decade, and about my really one of the biggest, the most important film directors in my life, about Quentin. I'd love to invite here another friends from the cast and crew, of course, from this movie. We will see what will happen. I'm not saying that it's the last episode of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Probably I will do another one, but for now it's a secret. So thank you guys. I'm switching to Polish now. Dzięki wam naprawdę za to, że byliście, za to, że wspieraliście. Dzięki Piotrek Gąsu, który jesteś tutaj ze mną. Dzięki Madzia Steczkowska, dzięki Aśka, Dowbory i moja kochana rodzinko, która tutaj ze mną też tutaj mnie wspieracie, siostry, bratowa i wszyscy, którzy mnie tutaj nas oglądaliście. Mam nadzieję, że troszeczkę więcej się dowiedzieliście o tym, w jaki sposób tworzy się taki film i w jaki sposób Quentin tworzy ten film. Wielkie dzięki dla Madison, dzięki dla Majka. Nie mówię teraz, że to jest ostatni odcinek, bo mam naprawdę w marzeniu to, żeby był jeszcze jeden odcinek o Pewnego Razu w Hollywood. A mam nadzieję, że to się uda. Jak będziecie wy też chcieli, to też mi piszcie i o tym mówcie. Odwiedzajcie profil Zawierucha Filmowa, tam będą zapisane live'y. Odwiedzajcie mój profil. Cieszę się, że wam się podobało. Nie zapominam o pytaniu konkursowym, chociaż od razu mówię, że będzie troszeczkę ciężej z ogarnięciem podpisów moich gości, ale też to spróbuję. Może będąc kolejny raz w Kalifornii to zrobię, więc pytanie konkursowe jest: jak nazywali aktorzy i członkowie ekipy miejsce, w które odkładali telefony, których używanie było zakazane na planie? Jak się nazywało to miejsce? Mam nadzieję, że odpowiecie. Jak nazywało się miejsce, gdzie odkładaliśmy telefony u Quentina Tarantino na planie? Takie pytanko. Odpowiedzi wasze oczywiście niech spływają na Insta Story, który nagram zaraz po tym odcinku. Już tutaj padają odpowiedzi, wiadomo, że są. Ciężko się dzisiaj z wami pożegnać, natomiast jest niedziela, miejcie piękny wieczór. Odpoczywajcie, obejrzyjcie dobry film. Zapraszam do oglądania Pewnego Razu w Hollywood, jeżeli jeszcze nie widzieliście, i do obejrzenia sobie tego live'a, żeby wiedzieć więcej. Dziękuję Wam bardzo za wspólne czatowanie, za wspólne rozmowy z Mike'iem i z Madison. I cóż, do zobaczenia w kolejnym odcinku Zawierucha Filmowa, czyli w środę o godzinie 20, a w środę o godzinie 20 będziemy, uwaga, rozmawiali i już tutaj mogę powiedzieć, z gośćmi z filmu Pan T. Więc mam nadzieję, że też będzie ciekawie. Pan T, przenosimy się wtedy z Hollywood, przerzucimy się z powrotem na polski rynek filmowy. Dobrego wieczoru dla Was, super tygodnia nadchodzącego, od jutra, poniedziałku. Dobrego wieczoru niedzielnego jeszcze z najbliższymi. Do zobaczenia. Pozdrawiam Was wszystkich bardzo, bardzo, bardzo serdecznie. Dzięki Wam, naprawdę super, że to piszecie, bo mi to też dużo radości daje. Widzę tutaj też przyjaciół i studio nagraniowe, gdzie miałem przyjemność ostatnio nagrywać Lot 202 książkę. The same to you. Thank you so much, my friends from all over the world. Dziękuję Krysia, dziękuję Sztuku, Krysia, która jest mózgiem operacji. Dziękuję Korneli, która też tutaj na bieżąco próbowała Wam przetłumaczyć wszystko, co mówiliśmy. Jeśli coś się nie udało, będę chciał zrobić tak, żeby ten live też był później wrzucony. Nie wiem, jak to zrobić, jeszcze nad tym pracuję, żeby były też napisy, żebyście mogli obejrzeć sobie z tłumaczeniem. Tak, live zawsze jest zapisany, także o to się nie martwcie. Kornelia również dziękuję wszystkim. Thank you all. Thank you for being here with me. Thank you for this kind of connection and this kind of conversation that we can meet all together. Thank you so much. Great job and interview. Well, I'm trying, doing my best. Mam nadzieję, że się spotkamy w środę o godzinie 20 i mam nadzieję, że moje marzenie też się spełni, żeby jeszcze raz z tymi fantastycznymi ludźmi z Pewnego Razu w Hollywood spotkać się na planie innego filmu. Do zobaczenia. Pozdrawiam Was serdecznie wszystkich. Pa, pa.